great numbers in such a busy season to share this music with us. I was thinking, as we did our dress rehearsal, that the subject of this concert was very appropriate for a benefit for Wellspring. Because in the Truce of 1914, despite incredibly difficult circumstances, people remembered their common humanity, just for a short time, but they remembered it and they acted on it. And the purpose of Wellspring is to remember our common humanity as much as we possibly can, through helping people who have fallen up to difficult times, and to nurture the human spirit of those who are often forgotten. So many thanks to you for supporting this concert. Thanks to those of you in the audience who may have decided to be sponsors of this concert, and to St. Michael's for providing the place to have this concert. Now, in 1914, you might remember that there were no electronic devices that people carried around in their pockets. So in order not to dispel the mood, please turn them off right now. I think that's all my announcements, and I'll turn it over to our conductor, Margo Euler, who may have some further instructions for you.
Hello, everyone. I suspect that some of you may have never been to hear the Unicorn Singers and Cove Chorale before. Is that true? Yes. Well, we have a certain tradition at our concerts, which is that everybody is invited to participate. And in this particular concert, it is extra specially important because we are going to try in the middle of the concert to suggest the incredible event that happened as the singing started on one side of the trenches and moved to the other side. And so if you will look in the center of your program, once we get it, we will sing several times during the concert, but in the middle of the concert, we will go through these carols, most of which are very familiar to you. There will be no talking, no announcing, and we ask for no applause. This concert, once it starts, I will never say another word, and we will go from the beginning to the end, trying to weave a magic spell to recapture this incredible event. So when it's time to sing, I will turn to you, but there are a few little clues there as to who should sing which verse, and we're very grateful if you can follow those clues. And in particular, when we get to the very, very end of the concert, the very last carol at the lower corner of the right-hand page, on that inner insert, in the very last line, it says, "Stop and listen." And if you can just be tuned in when we get there so that I don't have to go like a cup, go like this, because something kind of special is going to happen just before we finish. So if you can follow along, stay tuned in when the carol singing takes place. It will make the event very special for all of us. Thank you so much.
When Europe marched to war in the summer of 1914, both sides thought the fighting would be over in a few weeks. Instead, by the close of December, World War I had already claimed close to 1 million lives, and it was clear the fighting would go on for a long time. And yet on December 24th, much of the Western Front fell silent as ordinary soldiers made temporary peace with the enemy. This was the remarkable Christmas Truce of 1914. Surviving letters of soldiers on both sides of the front give personal and moving accounts of what some might call a miraculous moment of peace and light in a very dark time. Officers and ordinary soldiers, both German and British, put war aside and exchanged songs and gifts. The trenches themselves were decorated with lights, and soccer games were played on Christmas Day. Who can say what inspired this spontaneous celebration? Some on the home front refused to believe it ever happened. But the soldiers' own words tell a different story.
My name is Francis Tolliver. I come from Liverpool. 2 years ago, war was waiting for me at the school. To Belgium and to Flanders, to Germany and here, I fought for king and country I love dear. 'Twas Christmas in the trenches where the frost so bitter hung. The frozen fields of France were still, no Christmas song was sung. Our families back in England were toasting us that day. Their brave and glorious lads so far away, far away.
An open letter from the women of Britain to the women of Germany and Austria. Sisters, some of us wish to send you a word at this sad Christmas tide, though we can but speak through the press. We pray you to believe that come what may, we hold to our faith in peace and goodwill between nations. Though our sons are sent to slay each other, and our hearts are torn by the cruelty of this fate, we will be true to our womanhood. We hope it may lessen your anxiety to learn that we are doing the utmost to soften the lot of your civilians and prisoners within our shores, even as we rely on the goodness of heart for you to do the same thing for ours in Germany, in Austria. Peace on earth is gone, but by renewal of our faith, that it still remains at the heart of things, Christmas should strengthen both you and us to strive for its return. May Christmas hasten that day. And a reply from the women of Germany. To our English sisters, we express our heartfelt thanks for the Christmas greeting. Through the smoke of battle and thunder of cannon, there glows like the dawn of a coming better day, the deep community of feeling among the women of all nations. May this feeling lay the foundation for peace, so that peoples of Europe may never again be visited with such wars as these.
was standing there, gazing towards the German lines, thinking what a very different sort of Christmas Eve this was from any I'd experienced in the past. In the ordinary way of things, my father would be making rum punch from an old family recipe, which had been written out by his grandfather and was kept, of all things, in the family Bible. Earlier, after the evening meal, we would have decorated the living rooms and the hall with the traditional greenery, and would now be looking forward to wishing one another a happy Christmas and toasting the occasion in the result of my father's labours. Instead of this, here I was, standing in a waterlogged trench in a muddy Flemish field and staring out at the flat, empty landscape, desolate countryside with no signs of life. Then suddenly, lights began to appear along the German parapet, which were evidently makeshift Christmas trees, adorned with lighted candles, which burned steadily in the still, frosty air. Other sentries had, of course, seen the same thing and quickly awoke those on duty, asleep in the shelters, to come and see this thing